Hey guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 89 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 25, night 89. That means we've only got 10 days left to go. They're going to start counting down single digits. That's a huge thing when you're inside that house, that you now have single days left inside. It's going to be speeding up very quickly. Yesterday, on the other hand, a lot of people just waiting for the veto ceremony to take place today. There was certainly a little campaigning, a little strategizing going on. And late in the evening, we had, I don't know, an interesting plan hatched. We see some villains taking over the house. We'll talk about it, but certainly a villainous plan has been put into place, so to speak. So let's start off earlier in the day. What was going on? We'll go through the whole day and just talk about the feeds as we all wait for this veto ceremony today. So let's start off with Matt talking to Cirie. I think just about the very first thing they did in the morning when they woke up. It's gameplay from the morning to the very evening when they call it a night. Matt's talking to Cirie. He's asking Cirie if she's good because she looks nervous. She says, "Oh, I'm okay." You're not doing great when you're on the block and there's a chance you're going home. And I think Jag is realizing that Cirie may not be having the best week possible. It may not get any better. So he's asking if she's okay, and like, so far so good, I guess. Felicia and Cirie are outside talking. Felicia is saying that telling Cirie that she warned Matt not to sleep on Bowie Jane, that Bowie Jane has laid low all game long, and then suddenly she won 2 HOHs. She came close to winning a veto. Felicia is saying that she told him that there certainly could be some people on the jury, Matt, who would be more than happy to vote for Felicia, that feel that Felicia may have played the ultimate game in laying so low and in making it to the end. So in other words, think twice about maybe wanting to take Bowie Jane any further than possible, because she could surprise you, Matt. So Felicia's certainly getting her digs in a little bit. Felicia's warning Cirie that Matt had told her that Jag might not use the veto. Matt's been so solid with Cirie saying, "Yeah, you're good, no worries." Now Felicia's saying, "Yeah," Matt's saying, "Yeah, Jag may not use it." So, what does that mean for the two of us? Well, we know what that means for at least one of them for right now. So she's warning Cirie on that. Felicia is also recognizing and pointing out, and Cirie's agreeing, that Bowie and Jag just seem to be getting closer and closer by the minute, the way they're hanging out with each other. And they're saying, we need to let Matt know this as well. Make sure Matt's aware. I think Matt is noticing this also. All right, Cirie is telling Felicia that Felicia needs to talk to Jag, convince him to use a veto. I don't know what you say to convince him to use a veto, but Cirie's saying, you got to go do it, Felicia. Talk to him, get him to do it. But Felicia's also complaining. She's saying, look, I can't even talk to Jag because Bowie Jane is always with him. I'm not ever even able to get a conversation with him because she's always hanging around. They've been complaining about that for a while now. All right, we've got Felicia and Bowie Jane talking, not Jag, but at least she's got Bowie Jane at this point in time. Felicia's talking to her. Felicia's never too subtle with it. Felicia starts right off and says, "Look, you need to save me. What can we do? You need to save me right now. It's best if you do it." She's saying that Bowie Jane should be able to make it to the end and actually pick which of the two guys she even wants to sit in the final 2 chairs with. So Felicia's basically saying, Bowie Jane, it's your game at this point in time. You've got it all figured out. And please, what can you do to save me? And Bowie Jane comes back and says, well, I would love to have you stay, Felicia. I don't want you to go home this week. But she doesn't really give any answers beyond that. All right, we've got Felicia saying that she would love to win a Final 4 HOH and is asking Bowie that she would love to win a Final 4 HOH. And she's asking Bowie and saying, if you won that Final 4, who would you put up? And Bowie says, I don't know, Matt and Jag, maybe. I mean, if you don't say Matt and Jag at Final 4, then you have to say, I'd put you up, Felicia. So Bowie Jane says, well, if you're Matt and Jag, I've thought about it. But it's very non-committal. And Bowie's saying that she doesn't think that she has a chance at Final 2, regardless of who she's sitting in the chairs with, because she just has too many jurors that hate her. And she mentioned specifically that America hates her because she is responsible for America going, and therefore Corey's going to hate her as well. That Blue is going to hate her for basically the same reason, getting her out the door, and Cameron for flipping on Cameron. So she feels like right there she's lost 4 of the 7 votes. So it doesn't matter who she goes to the end with. Bowie Jane's not thinking she can win this. We know that Bowie Jane is an attorney. I have a feeling if she makes it to the final 2 chairs, she is going to have quite the speech, quite the pitch of why she absolutely does deserve it. We'll see if we ever get to see that speech or not. All right, Felicia's talking to Cirie. She's telling Cirie that she just doesn't know at this point if they're keeping her, Cirie. She doesn't know which way they're going at this point in time. Now, I think internally, Felicia's still thinking that she's got everyone on board to keep her, but she's not going to tell Cirie that. So she says she doesn't know which way they're going. She's pointing out that Bowie Jane is doing Jag's sheets right now, his bed sheets, but washing them, replacing them. And she's saying Matt needs to see that. And talking about the 2 of them getting closer and closer, she's doing his sheets. We need to make sure Matt's aware of that, and that he doesn't feel too comfortable with Jag and Bowie Jane at this point in time, considering how tight they're getting with one another. All right, we've got Matt and Jag talking about the Big Brother after party. For those of you who don't know, after finale night, the episode wraps. Typically now with COVID, it may have changed, but during my season, we did backyard interviews. And then there was a big kind of production party that took place. Everyone just celebrating being done with it. And so they're talking about that, and they're wondering if who else might be there. They're talking about they'd like to see Tyler there. That'd be pretty cool. They want to meet the Hitmen, which is season 16, Cody and Derek. And Jag is saying that they are just like the Hitmen. No. And that Bowie is just like Victoria. Especially no. Victoria was on the block, as y'all pointed out to me a couple of days ago, and thank you for that. Victoria was on the block 10 times during her season. Bowie Jane hadn't seen the block yet. So, yeah, no. Now, in terms of calling her maybe a third wheel or something, I get where they're coming from. But, yeah, they're thinking they're just Hitman Part 2. Don't think they're quite there yet. But they're already thinking about after parties and what's going to happen once the episode wraps and all of that. They are saying that getting Bowie Jane to flip on Cameron and get Cameron out the door was probably their biggest move so far, that they're going to be proud of, and people are going to talk about and all of that. So they're thinking about a lot of that kind of stuff. All right. Meanwhile, Bowie is telling Cirie that yes, that is true. Jag will not be using the veto. It's going to remain Cirie and Felicia on the block, but Bowie Jane is telling Cirie, saying, you're going to be safe. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, you're not going anywhere because the veto's not being used, but you're also going to be safe. Felicia is heading out the door. Well, maybe not so much. All right, we've got Matt and Cirie talking to one another. Cirie is asking, who would Bowie Jane put up next? Who would Bowie Jane put up next to Cirie if she wins HOH? She says, I know I would go up if Bowie Jane wins this next one, but who would she put up next to me? Would it be you, Matt? Or would it be Jag? And Matt said, well, I don't know. He says, I do know that Bowie Jane and Jag have gotten closer to one another. And that's what Cirie's trying to do. She's just trying to force Matt to look at who Bowie Jane's true alliances may be and make him a little nervous as a result of it. So, and Matt's saying, yeah, I don't know, but I recognize they're close. It's not just y'all who are noticing that. Matt is reminding Cirie, saying, you're telling me all this, but just remember, I don't vote. He said, unless it's a tiebreaker. And if it's a tiebreaker, then yeah, I'll do what I can to, I don't know if he said I'll save you, but I think that's the implication. He says, but I don't vote. So you've got to convince one of the others. You've got to get a vote from either Bowie or Jag if you want to make this work. He is suggesting that she talk to Bowie Jane. That's her best chance. And he says, maybe tell her, why does she want to be doing Jag's work? Why she want to do everything for him, just make sure that he gets to the end. So Matt's throwing out some suggestions to Cirie about maybe things that she could say to try to flip it and let Cirie stay instead of Felicia. Certainly we know that that's what Matt would prefer, but it doesn't seem like Jag or Bowie Jane are even willing to consider keeping Cirie over Felicia. All right, Matt is saying that Jag and Bowie are playing Felicia right now, that, yeah, they're letting her know that that she's going to be safe and all of that, but really they're just playing her. And I think the plan is still to keep you, Cirie. Well, and I don't think that's necessarily the plan. I think Matt realizes that as well. But again, it's all about Matt wanting to have plausible deniability. Say, I thought the plan was to save you, Cirie. I was on board with you. It wasn't me. It was those guys that did it. All right, Matt is saying that if he wins the final 3 comp, that he would take Cirie over Jag. He would much rather go to the end with her as opposed to Jag. She has to stay in the house until that point, or it becomes a moot point. But he is mentioning that Cirie is saying that if Felicia was to stay, that she wants Matt gone next week, and then that Bowie and Felicia would take each other over Jag, and Felicia is very certain that she could beat Bowie Jane in a final 2. So in other words, Cirie's wanting to make sure that Matt knows that as soon as Felicia gets a chance, Matt is her target of who she wants to head out the door. She's saying that no one beats Felicia in a final 2. She's saying a 63-year-old woman who's been on the block 7 times, has had a pretty decent social game. No one is going to beat Felicia. So why would you possibly keep her, Matt, as opposed to me, who hadn't done anything in the house? So Cirie very much downplaying her capabilities and playing up Felicia's ability to win this thing at the end. And because she mentions that everyone's going to beat me, but no one is beating Felicia. All right, we got the house guests, got a couple of decks. Excuse me. Couple of decks of playing cards. Matt is teaching them how to play Texas Hold'em. They're using those little mini chocolate bars in place of chips. He's explaining to everyone how to play the game. Jag seems like he maybe really doesn't understand how to play. Cirie acts like she doesn't necessarily know how to play Texas Hold'em, but I got to say, the way she shuffles a deck of cards, she's played a few card games, if not poker, then some other games, and she's got another one that she tried to teach them as well. But they spent some time playing cards up in the HOH room and having a little extra entertainment. It was nice. As much as these two groups were split apart from each other, for at least a little while, they got the cards. They're all sitting together. They're being nice to one another. They're playing cards with each other. It didn't last, but at least for a little while, they were all hanging out together. All right, we've got Cirie and Jag talking. Cirie is saying that she knows that he's not going to use a veto. He doesn't need to hide it from her. She understands it's not going to be used. And she says that I also know that I should be good with you, that you aren't coming for me, right, Jag? I know you're not using it, but I also know that I'm not necessarily the target. And she follows that up by saying how much she loves Matt and Jag and how much she wants to see them make it to the end, to the final 2. So she's kind of kissing up a little bit to him and letting them know that she knows it's not going to be used, but hopefully she's good anyway. All right, Felicia is saying that they're not wanted upstairs because the others are up there drinking wine. They're not happy with that at all, and I don't blame them at this point. The others are upstairs drinking wine. Felicia's saying that Matt wouldn't even let her upstairs, and she wanted to call him out. She wanted to say something, but she didn't. She held her tongue, but she's a little concerned, a little peeved about that. She's saying that Matt and Jag are ugly, and God doesn't like ugly. So, yeah, she's Felicia's, when she starts bringing up the God references, Felicia isn't real happy about the situation. So, yeah, she's calling them out a little bit, not to their faces, but certainly to Cirie. Felicia is saying that Bowie Jane won't leave Matt and Jag alone for even a second, that she's always with them and standing right by their sides. And she's mentioning that she can't get, as she said before, she can't get Jag away from Bowie Jane to even have a conversation because Bowie is so tight with Jag right now. Meanwhile, while they're kind of lamenting downstairs and complaining a little bit, we've got Matt and Jag upstairs checking to see how much wine they do have for a little bit late night wine drinking. Matt was mentioning at one point that he was supposed to save some wine for Cirie, but then he says, she's leaving in 3 days, so who cares? Yeah, they don't want to share any of that wine. All right, we've got Matt telling Jag that Felicia keeps saying that Jag and Bowie Jane are close together, that they're much tighter than Matt is with either one of them. And this kind of hit home, I think, a little bit. He's also saying that Felicia said that Matt was making fun of Matt's weightlifting. I guess his form, how he was doing it in front of a mirror. I'm not sure how she made fun of it, but Felicia said that told him that Jag was making fun of him. So Felicia getting a little bit of a dig in, and apparently this really kind of peeves Matt a little bit. And I said Matt told Jag. I think Matt actually told Bowie Jane that initially. But yeah, Felicia said that Jag was making fun of his weightlifting, and he doesn't like hearing that at all. Jag, well, maybe it was Jag, because then Jag is saying that they've been working together since day number one, that they're tighter than anyone else in the house. This is just Felicia doing her thing. Matt is saying that Felicia is really starting to act up, and that how are they possibly going to handle another week with her with the way she's acting? Again, we know Matt wants to keep Felicia and keep Cirie and send out Felicia. So he's saying, how can we live another week with Felicia like this? But Jag's coming back, who wants to send Cirie out the door. He comes back and says, well, Cirie is also lying and panicking. She's tripping a little bit as well. He says, so it's not just Felicia. Cirie's doing it also. He says, in fact, Cirie told me that she'd be happy if I was in a final two. In other words, Matt, don't think that you're too tight with Cirie, because she's telling me she wants me in final two. So there's still what we've seen from the past week. The two of them, a little bit of disagreement about which of the two mamas should go home. But Jag and Bowie Jane have the vote, which means Cirie is likely the one heading out the door. All right, Bowie Jane finally got out of the diary room. She heads upstairs, telling Matt and Jag to get that wine. They're ready to do a little bit of drinking. Matt's saying that Cirie said she was okay with Matt and Jag making a final two, but she really wants Bowie Jane up this week, and that makes Bowie Jane a little irritated. We're going to see her really annoyed. The word she used, she's a little annoyed with Cirie and Felicia, and the fact that they're kind of throwing her under the bus a little bit. In fact, Bowie Jane follows that by saying she really wants to make sure that Felicia is very uncomfortable this week. And she mentions that, well, we'll talk about that plan a little bit. She's very annoyed about it. But there's more talk about Matt weightlifting and what Felicia said, and Matt saying, we use a mirror when we work out at LSU with the weights, and I know I've got good form. And Jag and Bowie Jane are saying, no, she just said that. Jag saying, I didn't say anything about that. And it's just her trying to get her digs in. But as much as Matt talked about it, I think this impacted him a little bit, whether he believes it or not. Just the fact that anyone said something about that. So we've got them continuing to be a little upset with Felicia upstairs. Well, meanwhile, downstairs, Felicia and Cirie are playing cards in the comic room. Felicia's saying she wishes everyone could come back together for a little while. She's saying it's going to be tough next week. Someone's going to be alone. If he doesn't use that veto, you or I, whichever one goes, the other one's going to be left all alone while these three others are hanging out together, and that's going to be really rough. That is tough. I feel for her. She's saying, and mainly Felicia, that they continue to play cards, but mainly she's complaining about the others upstairs, that they're drinking, that they weren't invited to go up there with them. That's really, she's feeling bad about it, and I feel a little bad for both of them as well. All right, now back from the Jag is back from the diary room. So, and Bowie is talking about how annoyed she is again with some of the stuff that Felicia's been doing. She wants to make sure, she's come up with this plan to make sure that Felicia and Cirie turn on each other. She's saying, don't keep them too close. Let them go after each other, and maybe that'll help in terms of jury votes, or just force them to call out each other so they're not going after us. So let's try to turn them against each other. She wants to get Cirie really irritated, or she wants to get Felicia really irritated and stressed so that she can't sleep for this next week, so that she can't compete very well in the HOH is going to be coming up next Thursday. So she wants to go out of her way to disrupt everything about Felicia as much as possible, stress her out. And then come Thursday, it makes it just that much more likely that one of these three, well, not one of these three, because Matt can't compete, makes it that much more likely that Jag or Bowie Jane can win this next HOH. Jag likes the idea. He's all on board the stress out, irritate Felicia plan going forward. I told you, a little bit of a villain's coming out from this group right now. Matt leaves for the diary room, but Jag and Bowie Jane continue to talk about what they can do to possibly keep Felicia stressed out. Jag is saying, first of all, let's keep her in limbo about who's going home. If she thinks she's going home, then she may be kind of calm and sedate. If she thinks Cirie's going home, she may be calm as well. Let's make sure that she doesn't know who's going home, that she has to work all week long to try to save herself and stay in the house. Jag is saying that in addition to making her nervous about who's going home, he's going to take a step farther. He's going to get pots and pans and keep Felicia up all night long just by banging the pots and pans so that she doesn't get any sleep whatsoever. Now, I don't know how that's going to work out. As early as Felicia typically goes to bed, 10 o'clock or so, if he spends a couple hours banging on pots and pans, yeah, it's going to keep her up. It's going to stress her out. It's going to irritate her. It's going to lead to some words, I believe. Isn't it going to really impact your jury votes as well? They have completely abandoned the idea of jury management. I guess they've just decided that no one likes any of us, so they're going to be forced to vote for one of us. But I dare say that whoever's banging pots and pans in front of Felicia while she's trying to sleep probably is not getting their vote, no matter who else is on the block. But they just don't seem to care, because Jag's saying, I'll get those pots and pans out. I'll bang them all night long if I need to. Jag is saying that it's the most evil thing that he has come up with. Well, I won't argue with you. It's now I'll say this. Potentially, could it help you from a gameplay play? Perhaps. I mean, they're saying they would do it just as a way to make sure that Felicia doesn't win the HOH on Thursday. So, yes, I understand there's a game element to it. I also understand or believe that it may be a little more than is necessary, that they're probably pushing it and making this, I don't know. I just don't think it's probably the direction they need to go right now. But he's saying, yeah, it's probably the most evil thing that I've come up with. I don't think anyone online will argue any differently. He's also saying that it makes them the villains of the house. Bowie Jane saying that she doesn't care. Now, they don't care about jury management, obviously. They also apparently don't care about their life outside Big Brother after they get out, because if they do that, I think they're going to catch a lot of flack from social media and everything else when they get out. But they're so focused on the game right now and doing every tiny little thing possible that's their plan right now. Bowie is saying that Felicia deserves it because she's evil. Probably not the term I'd use, but she's mentioning that it's deserved by Felicia because of the way Felicia's been acting as well. Bowie is saying that some other things that they can do, they can hang out with Cirie just to stress out Felicia, saying, let's play cool with her. Let's do everything we can to be nice and friendly to Cirie so that then Felicia thinks that maybe we are keeping her. Jag at one point says, this is just for the game that we're doing this. Yeah, okay. And Bowie's saying that Felicia and Cirie have been playing dirty, so they kind of deserve it. And yeah, I'm not sure how much dirty. Yeah, there's lying and backstabbing and double dealing and 400 different alliances, but it's not just Felicia and Cirie that have been doing that. Everyone's been doing it. So I don't know what she's referring to about playing dirty necessarily, but she's saying, yeah, they've been playing dirty. So let's go ahead and do it. Matt is back, and Jag and Bowie are filling him on the plan, telling Matt, Jag is telling Matt that, yeah, he says, man, we and Bowie will sleep we'll sleep while you have a 2 or 3 hour conversation with Felicia right about the time it's time for her to go to bed. She'll talk to you if she thinks it's necessary to stay in the house. So you talk to her for 2 or 3 hours. If she really insists on going to bed, at that point, you can grab some pots and pans and keep her awake and all of that. So Jag started off saying he's going to do it. Now he wants Matt to probably throw his game under the bus and do it instead. So he's saying, you do that while we get a little sleep. And Matt said, yeah, I'll take one for the team. I'll do it as well. Matt's also saying that he's going to tell Felicia that he is worried that Jag and Bowie Jane maybe aren't locked in to send Cirie out the door, that he's just not certain, again, to keep her in a little bit of limbo as well. So they're very excited with this plan. They're calling the plan the pressure cracker. And at the end, they all fist bump each other in celebration of this plan being formed. We'll see. Maybe it's the wine speaking a little bit. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and let's see if that's still the plan this morning. I kind of hope not. As a viewer, yeah, it would make for all kinds of chaos and drama if we had that, but I don't think we need it, and I just do not see it happen. But we'll find out this morning if the plan comes into play. Now, they did say you can't just do it for one night. We need to do it for like 3 nights straight, and we really need to make sure we do it right before Wednesday night, right at the last possible moment. So this could be a thing where a lot of big talk, but they won't actually. They'll put it off. They'll put it off. The next thing you know, it won't ever happen. We'll find out. But pressure cracker plan is officially in place. And then finally, they're talking about all the sayings that Felicia has said throughout the season: mustard seed, Mr. B, etc. And then they proceed to do it with some of the other house guests as well. Izzy complaining about a cold refrigerator. Just a bunch of different sayings that they've heard throughout the season. So they talk about that a little bit as well. And with that, guys, that's it. They're all asleep. I now say that's it. They were up till 3:30 or so. So it turned into a late night. 3:30 or so Big Brother time, 5:30 Houston time. But they finally call it a night. Everyone in bed. And so there you have it. So in summary, Felicia and Cirie still not really sure where this is going to land at, but they're starting to at least recognize one or the other is going home. So they're having to deal with that. Meanwhile, the other three are upstairs trying to bond as much as they can, coming up with devious plans, and the internal struggle. Bowie Jane, is she with Matt? Is she with Jag? Is the bromance still alive, or is Bowie Jane going to interfere and maybe steal one of the final two seats from one of the other two guys? We're going to find out all this stuff over the next couple of days. So there you have it. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow morning to talk about what the veto ceremony and what happens after that. And as well, tonight, Cliff Notes Live, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central on the same YouTube channel. Check it out. Questions, comments, opinions. It's interactive, so we'll talk for an hour or so just about Big Brother and what y'all think is going to happen. What do y'all think about this plan, the pressure cracker plan? What do you think? It's within the realm of the game, or a little beyond what the game requires? Guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. I'll see y'all tonight or tomorrow morning. Until then, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.